Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into how the Driver Lifecycle Division at Synchron Safety actually takes the anxiety-inducing chaos of fleet management and turns it into a perfectly organized, greenlit digital reality. Look, if you've ever managed a commercial trucking fleet, you know for a fact that a messy stack of applicant paperwork isn't just an annoying admin task. It's literally a ticking time bomb of liability. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how to defuse that bomb.
Let's be real for a second about the massive liability that keeps fleet owners up at night. We're talking about the severe operational and legal risks of hiring the wrong driver or just letting a medical card expire unnoticed. It sounds small, right? But that leads to catastrophic DOT violations, skyrocketing insurance premiums, and negligent hiring lawsuits that can absolutely sink a business. With so much on the line, you really have to ask yourself, who is the ultimate gatekeeper of your fleet?
Well, the answer is the Driver Lifecycle Division. Our safety specialists act as those ultimate gatekeepers. They meticulously handle every single stage of a driver's career, right from the moment they apply to the day they eventually depart. Basically, think of them as your dedicated outsourced HR and safety department rolled into one synchronized unit. Their whole job is ensuring that only qualified, safe, and legally eligible individuals are ever added to your roster.
Here is our agenda for today. First, we'll look at the gatekeepers of the fleet. Second, extreme vetting and onboarding. Third, continuous Overwatch and coaching. And fourth, audit-ready peace of mind. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, Gatekeepers of the Fleet. Being a gatekeeper goes way beyond just, filing papers. It involves comprehensive pre-hire evaluations, incredibly strict DOT onboarding protocols, meticulous daily compliance tracking, and even handling formal driver terminations. They take all the raw, unpredictable data of your workforce and transform it into a streamlined, fully compliant machine. It's a complete A to Z process.
Moving right along to Section 2, Extreme Vetting and Onboarding.
We have a highly structured pipeline that completely eliminates that messy stack of applicant paperwork and replaces it with strict compliance checkpoints. Step 1 is the initial application review. Step 2 dives into deep background checks using MVR and PSP databases. Step 3 is the absolutely critical FMCSA Clearinghouse query. And Step 4, mandatory pre-employment drug testing. Nobody bypasses these gates, no one. So what actually goes into those background checks? Well, our specialists dig deep. They use motor vehicle records and the FMCSA's Pre-Employment Screening Program, or PSP, to catch any hidden crashes or past violations that could seriously jeopardize your business. And they combine this with criminal background tools to check for major felonies. They even personally call past employers, making at least 3 mandatory attempts to verify previous safety performance and how long they actually worked there. Because honestly, we just don't take a driver's word for it. Proper verification means looking from multiple angles. So beyond picking up the phone to check past employment, the team rigorously queries the FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. This ensures that absolutely no candidate with an open, unresolved drug violation slips through the cracks. With the driver's written consent, we run a full, detailed pre-employment query. And if the FMCSA prohibits them from driving a commercial motor vehicle, boom, it's an immediate hard stop. We enforce a strict zero-tolerance drug and alcohol policy. To do this, the division physically schedules every single driver's mandatory pre-employment drug tests. Our specialists log right into the testing authority systems, pinpoint a testing location based on the driver's zip code, generate the official electronic passport, and make absolutely sure the driver completes a compliant urine test before they are ever dispatched. Zero exceptions to this rule. And the results of all this intense vetting? A clean, fully compliant digital dashboard of driver qualification files. Every CDL, every medical certificate, and every background check is meticulously arranged in your cloud folders and TMS. So if you're ever audited, you're literally just one click away from proving total, perfect compliance.
Now let's look at Section 3, Continuous Overwatch and Coaching.
This is huge. The protection definitely does not stop after hiring. The safety team proactively tracks critical files. If a driver's CDL or medical certificate is exactly 30 days from expiring, they send immediate alerts. But they don't just shoot off an automated email into the void. Our specialists actually pick up the phone, they call the driver, walk them through the renewal requirements, and follow up relentlessly at 2 weeks, 1 week, and the day before expiration.
Now, what happens if a driver fails to renew that critical document?
The team actively prevents a catastrophic out-of-service violation by locking them in a do not dispatch status. Driving with an expired medical card can absolutely wreck a company's CSA score, so the operational ability to dispatch that specific driver is instantly revoked until a valid, updated copy is securely uploaded.
Of course, even with great drivers and strict vetting, things happen out on the road. So, how does the division manage real-time compliance failures? What exactly happens when a driver fails a roadside inspection or, say, receives an overweight citation?
Well, our safety specialists step in to conduct post-inspection interviews to figure out exactly what went wrong. They provide direct, corrective coaching on FMCSA rules to make sure that mistake doesn't become a dangerous habit. They aren't calling to blindly punish the driver. They're calling to constructively gather accurate information. Whether it's an hours of service error or an equipment issue, they patiently explain company policies and make sure the driver fully understands how to correct it moving forward.
Based on these inspections and everyday driving behaviors, the team runs constant risk assessments. They categorize drivers into high, medium, or low risk tiers. Why? Because statistically speaking, a zero-risk driver simply does not exist. Everyone carries some risk. It's all about managing it effectively. If a driver hits that high-risk status due to repeated violations, the team steps in with immediate strategic recommendations. This could be anything from targeted training to internal ELD audits, or in severe cases, immediate termination.
And if a driver is terminated, the process is incredibly systematic. The team removes them from the TMS, takes them off the insurance policies to stop unnecessary billing, and removes them from the drug consortium to prevent false random test violations. Because leaving a terminated driver in the consortium, that could result in a massive violation on its own. Every single loop is securely closed. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 4, Audit-Ready Peace of Mind. For a fleet owner, having this division actively managing your roster takes a crushing administrative burden and legal liability entirely off your plate. They are in the trenches, doing the heavy lifting to eliminate the massive liability of negligent hiring and unmanaged DOT violations. You honestly no longer have to worry if your files are in order, because dedicated experts are handling it every single day. We don't just record data. We build a highly predictable mint green safety system that guarantees your operations are always audit ready. If an auditor happens to knock on your door tomorrow morning, every single driver file is impeccably organized, every background check is fully documented, and every expired document has been proactively handled. And that brings true relief and unshakable confidence. Because when you have the ultimate gatekeepers securing your business, transforming chaos into absolute clarity, you finally have the peace of mind to focus entirely on growing your empire. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I want to leave you with this thought. Think about your own operations right now. Are your gates truly secure?